Welcome back to Rick Answers His Email. First up this week is from Robin from Maui, who's having a problem with AVG9 and a Microsoft redistributables problem. And I think what you're going to need to do, Robin, is go to the Microsoft website, and I've made a tiny URL for you here. Go to this particular website, re-download that package, and then reinstall, download the latest version of AVG9, and then reinstall AVG after you get this package from Microsoft. Good luck. Eileen, without looking at your particular situation, usually this happens when there's a large email that hasn't been fully downloaded. And I usually direct people to go to their internet provider's website and log into your web-based mail and see if you can find a big message in there, because chances are that's what's happening. It's getting stuck on one particular message and then it's not coming all the way in. Therefore, you get a repeat of all the previous emails. Sue, I get this question a lot, and unfortunately there's no one answer. And that's because you don't know what program your recipient is using to view their email. Some email systems will always put photos as an attachment. Some people choose to put photos as an attachment. Sometimes they will show up in line in the email and look exactly the way you want them to look as you send them. But the bottom line is you don't really know. As long as you're attaching them and sending them, they're going to get the photos. You just can't control how they're going to see them. Hello, Jewel. Publisher is not a website design software, as you know, but a lot of folks used it because it's a pretty easy to use desktop publishing program. Unfortunately, because it's not a true website design software, it uses a lot of funky conventions to be able to make your website viewable in a browser. It's kind of interesting that Internet Explorer 8 doesn't render it properly. I'm wondering how it looks in Firefox or Google Chrome. Probably you're going to have to get somebody in there that knows some HTML and some web design techniques and clean that up quite a bit to be able to make it cross-browser compatible. Dennis, I'm glad you asked this question because just yesterday I posted up the new version of how to download, install, and configure AVG9. Have a look at helpmerick.com. Hello, Gwen. If your son just bought this computer from June up until now, anytime in that period, he should have a free update to Windows 7. And he just needs to check with the manufacturer and see if he can get that disk. Usually it takes him a couple of months sometimes to get them all out to you. But I think the best bet for him to do is don't worry about the Vista. Get the Windows 7 disk. Do a fresh install. Don't do an upgrade, but do a fresh install of Windows 7. Jack, to get your Excel not to show the year, you need to make a custom date format. Here's how. So in this cell here, I've typed in January 9th, 2010, and it just shows the short date format of 010910. If I want to change that, I'll just right-click on the cell, go to Format Cells right down here. Then you're going to get the Format Cells box, and you're going to go down here to Custom. And under Custom, if you want to just have the month and the date in the short format, change right here where it says Type to just month, day, day is what stands for. And then I get 0109. If I right click and format that again, and I want the long month format, I type in 4 M's. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then click OK. And now it has January 09th. So if you look in your editing bar, the year is still there, but you're only displaying the month and the day. Monica, yes, your students can dump both emails into one system. If they're using a third-party program like Outlook or Outlook Express, they can retrieve the emails in that program in one account. They don't have to set up different profiles for those accounts. If you're using something like Gmail or any other web-based email, you can have one account forward to the other account. If you're using the Gmail system exclusively, it's a pretty nice system to be able to do the integration of multiple emails into the Gmail account. And I have instructions for that at helpmerick.com in my beginner video series. Raymond, you're not going to be able to get Outlook Express in Windows 7. They've dropped that system altogether. You're going to need to use something like Mozilla Thunderbird. And as far as adware goes, I don't even use that anymore anyway. Use the Microsoft Security Essentials, or malwarebytes.org has a good product, or just good old Spybot Search and Destroy. Jerry, I'm wondering if you're hearing the hard drive or if you're hearing the fan on your computer running, because sometimes people confuse the sounds on there. But if you're actually seeing the hard drive indicator light just constantly being pummeled on your system, there could be a lot of different things happening. And where I direct you to go is to right click on your My Computer icon, go to Manage, and under Management you're going to get to the Windows Computer Management utility, and you can go over here to the Event Viewer. And the Event Viewer has all these different logs where you can look at exactly what's happening at any given time with your computer. So you can peruse these logs and look around the times that you're thinking the computer is running more than it should, and you should be able to kind of sleuth out what's going on in that particular system. As far as startup, go to my website at helpmerick.com and search for msconfig, and you'll get a lot of good clues there. Chris, any data that you have, no matter how old it is always going to be transferable to a new computer. The question is whether it'll be readable in the new computer. If it's old versions of Word or Excel or even Microsoft Works, programs like that, you should have no problem transferring the data. As far as physically getting the data from one computer to another, get a little USB flash drive. I don't have one here handy, but get a little USB flash drive, copy your information to it, and then you can copy it directly into your new computer. If you're not able to use USB on your particular system and you don't have a CD burner, then the only other option is to physically pull the hard drive out of the system and use a hard drive enclosure, or there's different hard drive USB adapters you can get from places like Tiger Direct or Newegg.com. Avast is a very good internet protection service, Lynn, and I think you would be very happy with it, and yes, it does work with all versions of Windows. Barb, I'm not sure if I'm going to give you the correct answer because I don't quite understand what's going on based on your question, but I have two things I'm going to show you. Number one is open up a folder that has some photos in it. What I want you to do, Barb, is right-click on any photo when you open it up in a folder, and then come to the middle here and click Open With, and then choose Default Program. And when you do that, you're going to get some options on different programs on your system that can open that photo. Choose the Windows Photo Gallery option and then click Always Use This Program and then click OK, and your photo should open up with the Windows Photo Gallery. Picasa having a problem with the viewers, what I'm thinking you're having, has nothing to do with your pictures being lost. Your pictures are still there. You can't lose your pictures unless you physically delete them. The other thing I would suggest is to go to picasa.com and download and install the newest version. Hello, Dave. You don't need to install Vista prior to putting on Windows 7. Just put in your Windows 7 CD, boot up from it, and it's going to ask you, do you want to do an upgrade or do you want to do a clean install where it formats the hard drive and starts over, and that's the best option. But always remember to back up your data before you go through the process like this. The only way to guarantee that you're going to be able to get your documents to your recipients, exactly the way you want to, is to save them as a PDF format. And since you're using Word 2007, Microsoft finally integrated this into the system. So just click your little orb up here in the left-hand corner, then click the Save As option right here, and then finally PDF or XPS. The XPS option is Microsoft's own proprietary PDF-like system. Don't use it. Choose it as a PDF. And then attach that PDF to your email, and everyone's going to get the document exactly the way you intended. Hello, Sandra. Thanks for asking the question about AVG9. And we had a gentleman earlier in the podcast ask about the same thing. Again, I'm going to direct you back to my website, helpmerick.com. And I just posted a video yesterday on how to download, install, and configure AVG9. Hello, BJ up in Maine. I had no idea what UltraSurf was. I did some searching and found out exactly what it does. Apparently, for people who don't know what it is, it's a way to navigate to websites when you're inside of a corporate or maybe a university type school system where they restrict some of the sites you can get to. And there is no way to install that on a Mac system unless you do a virtual Windows system within the Mac. So sorry about that. No Mac version yet for UltraSurf. Hello, Sandra, and I'm glad I put this video up again this week. We're going to end this week with Sandra's question. I did put up the new video yesterday on how to download, install, and configure AVG9 free. You won't have to buy it through a partner. You shouldn't have to pay for it. My instructions here give you all the information you need to know. Thanks everyone for writing in this week and watching, and I'll talk to you again next week.